Mom, is it true you had an affair?
Oh, I see word gets around fast. I take it you found out then?
Of course this affects our family. If anything, I found out too late. Sure, I get that I'm living out of state due to being on a prolonged work transfer, but why am I the only one who got left out of the loop? I'm your son, for crying out loud. Dad said he kept it from me because he didn't want to worry me. But I'm a grown adult. I had a right to know when everyone else did. I'm 25 and I've been working for the last 4 years. Isn't it about time I got included in family discussions?
I see.
Anyway, just what the hell do you think you're playing at? You're in your 50s, Mom. The days of doing crazy stuff like this should be long behind you.
Whatever. I guess I don't mind that he told you. At least I don't have to bother doing it myself now.
Wow. What kind of attitude is that?
Anyway, I'm pleased things are finally getting settled. The sooner I wrap all this up and put it behind me, the sooner I can move on. On that note, me and your father are getting a divorce.
Is it true that you're getting custody of Louise?
Yes, it is. She's still only in her 4th year of elementary school. Being separated from her mother at that young age would do irreparable damage. Even if your dad did take custody, do you really think he'd be in any fit state to be there for her? He spends more time away on those darn business trips of his than he does with his family. Plus, you live out of state for work, so it would be physically impossible for anyone but me to take her.
Yeah. You do have a point.
I might have a full-time job, but I'll still be around to spend more time with her than your dad would. And on the plus side, it means that financially, I should just about be able to manage everything. Surely you can see how it makes more sense for me to take custody.
But still...
But this has already been decided on, Jason, so you may as well stop trying to fight it.
You're moving, aren't you? Does that mean Louise will be changing schools?
Yes, it does. The plan is to move to the next town where my workplace is to make commuting a little easier. I'll tell you my new address once I get moved in, but you should bear in mind that I'll be starting my new life soon, so don't be under the assumption we'll be seeing each other very often. Goodbye.
Mom? What the heck is going on? I just heard that you moved the guy you cheated on Dad with into your new apartment while living with Louise. Is it true?
Huh? You know about that? How? Who told you?
One of my buddies lives in the neighborhood, and he said he saw you all going in together.
Oh, I see.
Is it really the guy you cheated on Dad with?
Oh, please, don't insult me. I already broke up with that simpleton around the time of the divorce. I guess it's just like they say. When times get tough, you know who really has your back. He's ancient history now. The guy your friend saw me with is my new boyfriend, but we don't live together. He just stays the night every now and then. That's probably what your father saw, but I'm afraid he gave you the wrong idea.
You let him stay the night, but what about Louise? What do you do with her?
I leave her in the safe and trustworthy hands of a good friend who fully and non-judgmentally supports my romantic endeavors.
Oh, I see.
Listen, Jason, I think I have a good idea about what you're trying to suggest here. So how about having a little more respect for your mother? Do you seriously think I'd keep my elementary school-aged daughter around the house to bear witness to adult stuff? That said, I am single now, so who I date is none of anyone else's business. Unlike Louise, you're a fully grown adult, so I'd like to believe you at least understand that.
Yeah, I guess I do. I heard Dad screwed things up with you during the divorce, so it's not really my place to go sticking my nose into the past and making comment on what went down between you guys. But being totally honest, something about this whole situation just doesn't sit right with me.
Is this my big bro's messaging thing? Jason, is it you?
Huh?
It's me, Louise.
Louise,
I'm messaging you from Mom's phone.
since when did you know how to use a smartphone?
My friend Kelly from my old school, before we moved away, her mom let her get a phone and she let us all take turns playing on it sometimes. She even showed us how to do messages for when we get our own one day, so that's how I know. Anyway, writing messages is so easy, I bet a monkey could do it. I hope I can have my own phone soon. This is cool.
Wow, I see. I had no idea you knew how to use one. Louise, you wouldn't happen to be using Mom's phone without her knowing right now, would you?
Yep. She came home drunk again, but this time she kept drinking even after she got back. I found her phone next to a whiskey bottle where she passed out. She's still asleep now. She got some kind of lock on her phone. What was it again? Fingerprint verification. I don't know what a verification is, but I know fingerprints. I figured if I could press Mom's finger on the screen while she slept, I could get inside, and guess what? It worked! I have her phone with me in my bedroom now. Anyway, Jason, there's something I want to ask you. I want to live at your house starting today, big bro.
Huh? From today, but don't you have school? You're not on vacation at the minute, right? It takes over an hour to get to your school from my house.
I haven't been going to school.
What? Why not?
I can't go to school because my rucksack got tossed in the garbage.
Your rucksack got tossed in the garbage? What the hell?
I can't go to school without a rucksack, right? The teacher would get mad at me. Plus, it's a new school, and I don't even know anyone yet. I'm scared enough to go as it is, but without my rucksack, I'm terrified.
Who tossed your rucksack in the garbage, Louise?
Mom's new guy friend.
You mean the guy who stays over at the house sometimes?
Yep, him. His name is Chad, and he's a total jerk.
Wow. Hey, Louise, don't swear like that. God damn it, I can't believe this is happening.
Jason, will you help me? I need you, please.
Alright, it's settled then. Starting from today, you'll be sleeping over at your big bro's house for a little while.
Woohoo!
Is Mom still asleep?
She's fast asleep.
Right. I guess her lights are bound to be out for a good while if she's wasted. Louise, I need you to do something for me. Do you know how to delete message history?
I don't know.
Do you know how to turn off the phone?
Yeah, I remember from when I saw Mom doing it once. Wait, is Mom gonna know I used her phone? Will she be mad with me?
Don't worry about it. You're gonna be totally fine. I need you to turn off the phone and hide it under the plant pot in the corner of the veranda. Can you do that for me?
The veranda?
It's to save time. Look, we're in the middle of summer right now. Mom hates the heat, so she never goes out on the veranda unless she has good reason to. Once you've hidden the phone, it'll take me exactly 1 hour to get there. Start getting your things ready to come to my place, and do not under any circumstances leave your bedroom, okay? When I get there, I'm going to ring the doorbell exactly 3 times. When I do, I want you to come downstairs to the front door as fast as you can, and we're going to blow this joint.
Okay, got it.
Jason, give Louise back to me this instant.
I see you finally managed to find your phone.
I knew telling you my new address was a mistake. This is abduction, plain and simple. I'll have you arrested for this, boy. You mark my words.
Geez, Mom, can you even hear yourself? Get real. All I'm doing is protecting my little sister, you maniac. I'm keeping her safe from you and your boyfriend. There's no way I could sleep at night with her in that house, knowing how crazy and out of control you're behaving.
Quit blowing things out of proportion, you overdramatic little weasel.
How am I being overdramatic? I thought cheating on Dad and destroying our family was the lowest you'd ever sink to. Boy, was I wrong. I feel nothing but shame and embarrassment having a mother like you. You're so pathetic it hurts.
I said quit being overdramatic, you little pansy. I never raised you to be this sensitive. Anyway, quit trying to change the subject and give me back Louise.
There's no way you're having her back.
This is kidnapping. Are you insane? I'll call the cops if you don't give her back. I swear I will.
You still don't get it, do you? You have no idea that calling the cops on me would lead to nothing but the absolute ruin of you and your boyfriend, huh?
Huh? Why?
Louise told me a thing or two about what you guys have been up to, Mom. You told me you were leaving Louise with your friend when your boyfriend stayed the night at your place, back when I asked you about it. But that's not true, is it? You were forcing her on the college student who lives on her own 2 floors down in your apartment block the whole time.
That's, I was just letting her practice babysitting for when she has kids of her own one day. Is that so wrong?
Do you think I'm naive enough to believe a bullshit excuse like that? I took Louise to the hospital and got the doctors to give me a medical certificate to document her condition.
A medical certificate? Her condition?
She's so skinny and emaciated, my jaw almost hit the floor when I saw her. I took her for a meal at a fast food joint so she'd have some calories inside her and rushed her to the hospital for a checkup as quickly as I could. Thankfully, she wasn't in any immediate danger, but the doctors were still concerned. They said she was severely malnourished and suffering from several vitamin and mineral deficiencies. They decided to keep her in for a few days just to make sure she's okay.
Louise is staying in the hospital?
I don't think I need to spell out what this means for you.
Go on. What does it mean?
It means this is a case for Child Protective Services.
CPS? You'd report your own mother to CPS? No, don't do it!
If you call the cops, I'll call CPS. Does that sound fair? It's pretty obvious how you and your boyfriend have been treating my little sister all this time. I can't believe I fell for your responsible mother act when you told me you'd been leaving her with a friend when he stayed the night.
Jason, please don't do this. Isn't there any way we can make all of this go away? It's not fair for you to act like this, and you need to stop.
You, of all people, talking about fairness. Now I really have heard it all. I'm telling Dad what you did, and there is nothing you can do to stop me.
What? No, don't do it. Don't tell your dad. Please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything.
Whoops, too late. I just sent the message. Realistically, given the situation, Dad's the only one in any position to take Louise in right now.
Take her in? What's that supposed to mean? What do you plan on doing?
Dad will be taking custody of my sister.
What? You cannot be serious. You're delusional. You had me curious for a sec there, but that's actually the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Have you forgotten the reason I took custody of Louise in the first place, you little simpleton? Your father's a chronic workaholic and spends more time away on those damn business trips of his than he does at home. On what planet do you expect him to be able to look after a 6-year-old? I think you're being a little too ambitious with this one.
Actually, that's where you're wrong. This is doable, and we are going to make it happen.
Huh? Why do you seem so confident?
I'm guessing you didn't know this, but Dad switched apartments at his company just before the divorce went through. He mainly works from home. Goes into the office once or twice a week at most these days. If it suits him, I'm happy to move in with the two of them. I think it would be nice for us all to be reunited again, actually. Oh, and don't worry about Louise's environment being too male. My fiancée says she's happy to help out with anything that requires a feminine touch.
Huh? Hang on, what did you just say? Your fiancé? Since when were you engaged?
We've known each other since high school, but we met again as adults at my workplace when she started out as an intern. I was just about to introduce her to you and Dad after she accepted my proposal, but that's when your affair got out and the marriage fell apart. The timing didn't seem right anymore, all things considered. But actually, Louise found out about her a year ago when she saw us out on a date while she was out on a school field trip. Can you believe what a coincidence that is? As for Dad, I introduced her to him 3 months back.
Wow, what the hell is this? So I was the only one who didn't know?
Yep. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about right now is the fact that Dad's finally in a position to take custody of Louise and provide her with the love, care, and attention that she needs. I don't know whether you did what you did to Louise on purpose, but the fact that it was reprehensible and unforgivable remains the same. Neglect of that order is more than enough reason to have custody handed over to Dad.
But Jason, Oh, do you have any idea what the consequences of doing that would be? If your dad gets custody, I won't be able to get by anymore.
You won't be able to get by. I thought you'd been working a full-time job this whole time.
Well, about that. You see, some things happened, and, I quit my job.
Hang on a sec. No way. Did you quit your job to live off Dad's child support payments?
No, it wasn't like that at all.
I see. Oh, just when I thought you couldn't sink any lower. I'll be telling Dad about this, mark my words.
No, wait, you can't.
Anyway, the bottom line here is you're not getting Louise back, no matter what. Me and Dad will keep her safe from you if it's the last thing we do.
Jason, stop this. You wouldn't seriously betray your own mother, would you? I birthed you into this world and raised you, you wretched little ingrate.
That's rich. You got some nerve to accuse anyone of betrayal after what you did. The only traitor here is you.
How can you treat me like this? I am your mother. You should have my back. Sure, I might have made a mistake or two, but you're still my son. Don't abandon me, please. I'm begging you, Jason.
Have you literally no self-awareness? The only one who betrayed anyone is you. The only one who abandoned their family here is you. How can you destroy our lives by cheating on Dad and then have the gall to point the finger at me?
I'll change, I swear. I'm ready to turn over a new leaf. Jason, I promise you I am.
I'm not naive enough to be fooled by your lies anymore, Mom. I'm a grown adult, and I can see through your bullshit.
Jason, stop swearing at me and stop being so cruel, you heartless monster.
All right, we're done here. Later, Mom. It was just after the time of our last message that my dad went into battle mode and resolved to win back custody of my sister. What triggered him into action, you ask? Well, simple. He paid Louise a visit in hospital. One look at her gaunt, emaciated face was all he needed to know he had no choice but to call the cops, so that's what he did. The result? Mom and her boyfriend ended up with a criminal record for child neglect. On top of that, she was ordered by a judge to pay back my dad for the last 4 months' worth of child support she'd been blowing on whiskey in fancy restaurants after quitting her job. As for custody of Louise, yep, you guessed it. My dad won the court case in a heartbeat. We decided to rent an apartment halfway between mine and Dad's workplaces so we could both still make it to work easily enough when we needed to. With that, the three of us began living together. Once everything calms down, the plan is for my fiancée to move in with us until me and her decide to get a place of our own. Something tells me Louise can't wait for her to move in with us. She took a liking to her as soon as they met, and they've been getting along great ever since. My little sis did have to change schools again when we moved house, but I was relieved to hear she already made a bunch of friends. Here's to hoping these days of peace, calm, and relaxation carry on forever. Well, thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing to the channel. Also, feel free to comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Mum. Answer me a question. Aren't you ashamed to be leeching off Dad's salary like a parasite?
Huh?
This is why stay-at-home housewives are a blight on humanity and a drain on society.
Kane, where is this coming from all of a sudden? It's not like I just became a stay-at-home housewife yesterday.
I know that. You've been leeching off Dad ever since you married him, right? You really landed on your feet when you found him, huh? Basically, you haven't had a proper job and been a productive member of society ever since you tied the knot.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you think that way, but still, why now? It's hardly like I became a stay-at-home housewife yesterday.
I'm telling you these hard truths now, because now is when you need to hear them. It's been 6 years since my sister flew the nest, right? And 2 for me. Think of me putting you in your place right now as an insurance policy. Or think about it. If, God forbid, something should happen to Dad, who's going to be left to feed, clothe and shelter you? Me and my sister. Hey, Sue.
Well, that's simply not true at all. I became a housewife after a lengthy discussion with your father. Believe me, it wasn't a decision we took lightly at all. I don't need you to tell me that it'd be awkward for you and your sister to have to look after me. That much is obvious. We have contingencies in place to ensure that doesn't happen, so you don't need to worry.
You say that, but you're still a stay-at-home housewife.
And what's wrong with that? If there's something you want to say, how about you come here and say it to us in person?
Huh?
If you're so set on putting me in my place, then come over here and do it to my face. Your father will be here, I'll call your sister, and we can all discuss it together as a family.
Well, to be honest, I have more important things to do right now.
Your father and I are totally fine with the current situation, and we built this household on the mutual understanding that it was what we both wanted. If you feel so passionately about repudiating the way we live, then you should at least have the courage to come here and do it to our faces. We're happy to discuss it with you, I assure you.
Well,
when should we be expecting you? Your sister will have to make time in her schedule, so I suggest you decide quickly. Now.
No, that's not what I meant, actually.
Then what did you mean?
Well, I have important business to attend to and I have to go.
You wait right there, Kane. I'm not finished with you. Mom, did you see the X account I just sent you? Victoria. Yes, I saw it. As much as it pains me to say it, as far as I can see, there's only one rational explanation for this. It's Kane. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Looking at his past tweets, there are a few photos mixed in that make it obvious it could only be him. Oh, good grief, whatever are we going to do with that boy? It would be one thing if he kept his antics confined to the house, but to think he's doing it on social media for all to see like this? Ugh, I'm embarrassed to have him as my brother. Seriously, how the heck did he get this way? It defies belief. To be honest, I wasn't sure whether I should show you. Soon enough, he's gonna have no choice but to face a certain harsh reality. So I thought maybe I should keep it quiet for the time being, but nope, I just couldn't keep it quiet. I had to show you. Oh, don't worry, sweetie. You did the right thing, and I'm grateful to you for it. Thank you. Kane, are you attacking stay-at-home housewives on social media?
Huh?
Your sister contacted me after finding what appears to be your X account.
What the heck? All I ever post on X is trivial reflections of my daily life and pictures of my cat.
Not that one. Your secret account.
Huh?
Yes, we found you, boldly spewing your poisonous hatred and bile towards stay-at-home housewives to the world from a fully public account. When I saw the photos from your daily life obviously indicating it was you mixed in with the hate, I naturally found myself overwhelmed with disgust at how you think it's acceptable to talk about housewives like that. But also disappointment and regret at how stupidly irresponsible you could be to give yourself away so blatantly.
I don't remember uploading photos like that.
The watch your dad sent you to celebrate your graduation ceremony, the mole on your arm and the picture of you wearing the watch, the background of the university campus apartment you currently live in, the illustration books your sister made for the whole family in the background of that picture of your cup of noodles were an especially big giveaway. How can you deny it's your account when you made it so blatantly obvious?
God damn and blast it. Crap.
What on earth do you think you're doing here, son? We never raised you to be this way.
I'm just telling the truth. Is that a crime? Is it wrong to say what I really think?
You're free to think what you like. I can't say I agree with you, but it wouldn't necessarily be a problem if you kept your hateful ideas to yourself. But to think you're boldly broadcasting your poison for the whole world to see, this is unacceptable, Kane.
Shut up, you annoying old hag.
Yes, I'm sure I am nothing but an annoying old hag to you. But there are some things I have a duty and obligation to say to you as your mother.
And there are some things I have a duty and obligation to tell the world, as a productive and contributing member of society.
There are some things you shouldn't say. How is it that you made it to adulthood without learning such a simple lesson?
Who the heck do you think you're preaching at, you goddamn hypocrite? You just spent the last 20 years living like a princess without ever lifting a finger as a stay-at-home housewife because Dad's too much of a pushover to put you in your place. How is it that the only skill you've learned in 50 years is how to leech and parasite off of others? You're a lazy, idle, indolent, slothful, loafing, inactive, inert, slow-moving, work-shy piece of garbage. Know your place, worm.
Oh my God, Kane, are you being serious? Is this all some kind of ridiculous act, or are you actually like this?
What's the problem? It's the truth, ain't it?
I see. And what the hell do you know about us?
Ah.
It's a simple question. What do you know about me and your father?
Mum?
I told you to come to the house so we could talk this over in person before, but I've changed my mind. You just crossed the line. Don't you dare show your face around here until we've decided what to do with you, boy. Do you hear me? Do I make myself clear? Hello, Kane, you moronic twerp.
Hey, Victoria. Don't speak to me like that, you stupid bitch. Me and you have beef to settle. Why the hell did you go and tell Mum about my secret account?
Believe me, it wasn't an easy decision to make. I can't believe you actually think it's acceptable to spew such hatred and bile towards an entire segment of society online. But the fact that I'd stumbled onto it meant it was only a matter of time before Mom did. Which is why I thought the earlier I told her, the more chance there'd be of you changing your ways in the long run.
Well, thanks to you, Mum gave me the lecture to end all lectures yesterday. God damn you. You think I needed to hear any of that crap?
Did you know she was a hard-working career woman before she got married?
What? Say what now?
But then, one day, Dad's little sister, who was a single mother, abandoned her 5-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son in her apartment and pulled a vanishing act.
Wow, what?
To Dad, they were his niece and nephew. But when he found them in his sister's apartment, it had been 10 days since their mom left them there, and they were so skinny and malnourished he barely recognized them.
Victoria, why are you telling me this?
Don't worry about that. All you need to do is listen. Dad's sister was found later on. But when Dad confronted her about what she did, she said she was moving to Italy to marry her boyfriend, and that she didn't need the kids because, to quote her, they were nothing but an inconvenience. With that, the 2 children who'd just been abandoned by their mother were adopted by our newly married parents.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say the woman who abandoned those kids was Dad's little sister? Wait a second. If Mum and Dad adopted them, are you talking about us?
Yes.
What? So does that mean me and you, Mum and Dad are...
Yes. Dad's not actually our dad. He's our uncle. We do still have a blood relation to him. But as for Mom, well, yeah. I think you can put 2 and 2 together.
Oh my God. Is this some kind of sick joke?
This isn't the kind of thing I joke about, Kane. Anyway, like I said earlier, when Mom and Dad met, Mom was a hard-working career woman. She was at a crucial point in her life, finding herself standing at a crossroads and with little time to make a decision. Would she pursue the promotion and continue walking the path to CEO she dreamed of ever since she was a little girl? Of course, it would have meant breaking things off with Dad, getting a divorce, and finding a new partner, someone more suited to the kind of life she wanted to live. She did have other options, and it couldn't have been an easy decision to make. And the truth is, Dad actually told her he wouldn't hold it against her if she chose to divorce him. He felt awful about the thought of problems on his side of the family causing Mom to have to give up on her dream. But even in spite of that, she chose to give up on the career she'd always dreamed of to raise me and you as our mother.
What?
I'm sure a big part of her wanted to carry on pursuing her career, but the situation back then probably made that difficult. Mainly, I mean the situation with my condition.
What's that supposed to mean?
You probably don't remember because you were only 1 at the time, but I was 5, which meant I was old enough to understand what was going on. When I realized Mom had abandoned us, the shock hit me so hard my world was flipped upside down, and I became extremely emotionally unstable. Juggling caring for 2 small children with a full-time job would be difficult at the best of times. But me being a nervous wreck carrying around a bunch of trauma made it doubly so.
So that's why she quit her job?
Yes. There's no doubt about it. It must have been the most difficult decision of her life. Can you imagine? One day you're just going about your business as usual, focusing on pursuing your dream, things are going fairly well. Then out of nowhere, you're hit with the bombshell of having 2 small children dumped on you and forced to make a decision that would change your life forever. Of course, it was entirely her decision, but in the end, it inevitably meant giving up on the career she'd been pursuing with absolute single-minded devotion ever since she was a teenager.
Oh my God. Mum.
That's not all, Kane. The fact that me and you have no younger siblings means she gave up on having children of her own. Do you understand the gravity of that?
Oh my God. She did that for us.
Yes, she did it for us. She did it for all of us.
Oh my God. But I said some awful stuff to Mum the other day.
Yes, you did.
I had no idea, but that doesn't excuse what I did, does it? Oh my God.
No, it doesn't.
But even if I tried to apologise, Victoria, I think she's blocked me. None of my messages seem to be going through. That she told me not to show my face at the house anymore too, Victoria. What am I supposed to do? How can I make this right?
You can start by deleting that horrible secret account of yours. Oh, but before you do, you should make a public apology for everything you posted on there.
Okay, I'll do it.
I'll tell Mom about your change of heart as soon as I see the proof in your apology message. Also, you should still be able to message Dad, so it's not like it's completely impossible to get through to her. As for what you should say to Mom and how you decide to behave towards her from now on, I'll let you decide. You've got some serious thinking to do about the kind of person you want to be from here on out, Kane.
You're right. I do have some thinking to do.
Victoria, you told Kane the truth about your mother, didn't you? Oh, hey, Mom. Yes, I did. Dad told me he gave you permission when you told him how horribly Kane had been behaving lately. I'm sorry you had to do that, sweetie. It can't have been an easy thing for you to do. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. Besides, I'm the one who should be saying sorry. I went and told him the truth about us being adopted behind your back. You were actually planning to tell him once he reached age 20, right? Yes, that's right. Oh, but it's fine. As long as your dad said he was okay with it, then it's fine by me. It looks like Kane deleted his secret account. Yes, I just saw myself. He posted an apology message before deleting the account 2 days later. But still, I have no idea what would possess him to write such horrible things in the first place. About that, I asked him about it. It turns out, one of his seniors in university, who he looks up to and admires in a big way, got brutally rejected in front of the whole lecture hall by a girl he'd had the mother of all crushes on for the last year. That girl then dropped out of university, quit her job, and married the son of a rich family. Apparently, she currently spends her days broadcasting her life of carefree luxury as a stay-at-home housewife on social media, having everything provided for her and never having to lift a single finger. When Kane's friend told him about the situation and vented his frustrations about how much he hated her for what she did, instead of putting it down to the actions of one rotten apple, he decided the whole barrel was spoiled and launched into a vicious tirade against all stay-at-home housewives. They're a blight on humanity. They're social parasites. You know how it went. Anyway, my little brother, being naive in the ways of the world and easily influenced by his friend, whom he idolized, started parroting everything he was saying, and before you know it, he made a secret X account to disseminate his toxic sludge. I see. So that's how this all came about, is it? Come to think of it, I'm somehow not surprised. That boy always was easily influenced by his friends, wasn't he? Yeah, and I pointed that out to him. I told him he should use this as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth, and become someone who can think for himself without blindly parroting the opinions of others. I see. But wait, there's more. Apparently, Kane Sr.'s online attacks against his despised ex-crush got so vicious and severe they crossed the bounds of mere hatred and onto actual defamation territory. Kane thought it was strange when he stopped seeing him around the campus, and after asking around a little, found out the girl had hired a lawyer and was pressing charges against him. When he realized how expensive fighting the legal battle was going to be, he had no choice but to drop out. Goodness me, what a terrible situation! On the bright side, I think seeing what happened to his friend has opened Kane's eyes to how out of line he was being. I think in his own way, he's experiencing genuine feelings of remorse. I know you might not be able to forget all of those things he said to you overnight, but do you think maybe you could be lenient with him? You're right. Okay, I will. You know, dear, I've been thinking. I think I might finally be ready to start working again soon. Huh? Where did that come from all of a sudden? it doesn't particularly have anything to do with the situation with Kane. But with you two growing up now, my responsibilities around the house aren't as heavy as they used to be. Your dad recently suggested I take up evening classes, and it got me thinking. Forget evening classes, I want to work again, was the first thought that crossed my mind. You can take the career woman out of the job, but you can't take the job out of the career woman. For the time being, I'm thinking of starting with something small, like cleaning for an office building or supermarket. I plan on getting to work with job hunting over the next few days. Wow, cool. You can do this, Mom. And don't I just know it? Thank you, Victoria. A month later, a message from my son arrived in the mail. Victoria had already told me to expect a letter of apology, so I opened it immediately without hesitation. First, it simply said, "I'm sorry." Then it went on to say, "Thank you so much for raising me, Mom. I swear to graduate university at the top of my class and make a success of my life to show you how grateful I am for the hard work and sacrifices you made for me and my sister. I can't wait for you to see the man I become." Then it went on to say, "If you can find it in your heart to forgive me, I'd love nothing more than to carry on being your son. I don't want him to think I'm going easy on him, so I think I'll hold off sending him a response letter for the time being. But based on what I've heard, he's being sincere, because apparently he's currently working as a volunteer at an animal shelter and studying harder than he ever has in his life." Thanks for watching, folks. If you were impressed by Kane's maturity at the end there, let us know by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. We can't wait to see you again next time.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Dad, is now a good time?
Huh? Lily? I haven't heard from you in a while. What's up? You know, I'd love it if you showed your face around here sometimes. I miss you, you know. I've been settling into my new life of living alone ever since you flew the nest a year ago to get married pretty well, but I'd still like to see you sometimes. I'm your dad, sweetie.
Yeah, well, you see, it's not that I don't want to.
Huh? What is it then?
Well, there's something I was hoping I could talk to you about.
Oh, alright. Well, sure. Go ahead.
My husband Frank just got back, so I'll have to shoot. Let's do this another time, okay? Sorry, Pops.
Sure. Got it. If you're ever in trouble, I want you to know you can message me anytime. Hey, Lily. You messaged your dad behind my back yesterday, didn't you? I know everything.
Huh? No, I didn't.
Do not lie to me, woman. I got done looking through your phone hours ago. You cut it off mid-discussion because I came home earlier than planned, didn't you? You lying lowlife. Don't bother trying to keep up the act, woman. Believe me, I'm already pissed enough as it is.
But my phone was locked. How did you...
The password was your dumb bitch mom who died 10 years ago's birthday, right? As if I wasn't gonna guess that. You think like a simpleton. It was so easy to guess, I got it on my first try.
Oh my god.
I made your instructions perfectly clear when we got married. I told you were to cut off all ties with your worthless loser of a dad, didn't I?
Please, Frank, don't do this. I'm begging you. Will you just cut me some slack on this one thing, please? He raised me all on his own after my mom passed away. I can't cut him out of my life.
So let me get this straight. Basically, you mean you're perfectly fine with me having my dad using his power and influence to make your dad's factory go bankrupt. That right?
That's,
If you don't like it, get him out of your life ASAP.
But please,
You know what happens, don't you, Lily? I know you know what happens when you act like this. So why even bother? It'll only end in misery for you.
Dad, help me.
Lily? What's wrong?
Frank kicked me out of the house.
He kicked you out? But we're in the middle of a major typhoon. It's not safe to be outside right now.
Yeah, that's why he kicked me out.
What the hell is going on here, Lily?
He's been telling me to cut all ties with you and never speak to you again for a long, long time now, but I couldn't do it, and when he saw me hesitating, he grabbed my phone and tossed it out into the backyard. It was like he was possessed by a demon. He pushed me flying out of the front door and locked it behind me.
In the middle of a typhoon? Where are you right now?
I'm taking shelter under the bus stop near our house. Do you know the one I mean?
Wait, do you mean the bus stop near the Johnson River? The one by the bridge?
Yes. I thought I could ride the bus to the station from here and make it to your place on my own. But when I got here, I realized I don't even have my purse.
Got it. I'll be there soon. But it's dangerous to be near a river during a typhoon this bad. Can you at least make it somewhere safe while I head to get you?
He threw me out in my pajamas, so I'm barefoot. I think I stood in some glass or something, and it hurts like hell to walk.
You don't even have shoes on. Alright, just hold tight, sweetie. I'll be there as soon as I can. Frank, is now a good time? Oh, aren't you Lily's dad? Been a long time, huh? Hope you're doing well, sir. Isn't the typhoon today awful? I'll see. So you're aware we're in the middle of an awful typhoon then? Huh, yeah, of course. I'd have to be blind and deaf not to know this is a really bad one. The boss called and told me not to go into the office today, so I'm working remotely instead. I see. So you kick my daughter out barefoot in the middle of a horrible typhoon, while you sit working in safety at home without a care in the world. Huh. What exactly are you talking about? Lily's doing the dishes in the kitchen as we speak. Oh, that reminds me. She accidentally dropped her phone in the sink, so she can't message you right now. We're gonna drive out to the phone shop to get her a new one once the typhoon calms down, so sorry, but we'd appreciate it if you waited a little before trying to contact her. I don't plan on letting Lily go back to you. Huh? She's here with me right now. What? What the hell do you think you're playing at, boy? But I broke her phone. How the... Yeah, she told me all about how you tossed her phone into the yard in the middle of the worst typhoon the state of California has seen in 26 years. Fortunately, it landed on the lawn and is well known as being one of the best phones on the market for water resistance. After picking it up and getting herself to safety, she messaged me explaining all the horrible abuse she'd been subjecting her to and begged me for help. I rushed out to help her in the middle of the typhoon as soon as I got the message. I barely recognised her, Frank. She weighs 35 kilograms for crying out loud. Seriously? It would appear you've been constantly pressuring her to break off all ties with me. Do you mind explaining why you did that? Whatever. I guess if you know it can't be helped, there's no use in trying to keep up the act anymore. I see. Does that mean you're finally going to man up? Show me your true colours? You want to know who I really am? I'm the son of the CEO of a major company, and I'm set to be president one day. And you, Andrew, you're nothing but the owner of one of my father's dozens of minor, insignificant subcontractor factories. You're nothing but a worm beneath my feet. We live in different worlds, peon. Different worlds. So what, I took your trashy production line working daughter and claimed as my own. What's the issue here? She should be grateful someone as powerful and respected as myself would even give her a look in. In return, it was her duty to live to serve me for the rest of her life and do my bidding at all times. But that goddamn stubborn blockhead refused to cut you out of her life. She had the nerve to disobey me, her husband, the lord of the manor, and the supreme master of her life. You can't seriously expect me to forgive impudence of that magnitude. It might seem cruel, but this is the only way to educate her in the ways of wifeliness and make her see sense. I kicked your dumbass daughter out barefoot to educate her in the ways of being a good wife. Sure, we might be in the middle of a typhoon, but hey, that ain't my problem. If anything, being kicked out in the middle of a typhoon might make her think even harder about her disgusting behavior. I'll see. You're saying some very messed up things here, Frank. Messed up? The only one who messed up here is you. How the hell did you raise your daughter for her to end up like this? This is why single parents should be eradicated from society. She doesn't belong to you anymore. You do know that, right? She's my wife, and I intend to educate her as such. Wonder if you'll have the decency to cut off ties with her and stop getting in my way. Just what the hell do you think my daughter is? Huh? I'll let you have her hand in marriage because I thought you'd make her happy. And what did you do? You trampled her hopes, expectations, and dreams underfoot as you terrorized, tormented, and abused her. What's your heckin' goddamn point? The only one who needs educating here is you. Wow. Who's going to educate me? You? The owner of some insignificant, poxy rundown factory in the middle of bum shit nowhere. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Yeah, I sure am. Oh, I can't wait. This should be hilarious. Andrew, hello? Please, I'm begging you, forgive me. Please. What are you talking about? The thing with the business deal. You have to take it back, please. Please undo it. I'm begging you. This is going way too far. All I did was present your dad the CEO of my biggest client company, collection of conditions for him to meet if we were to carry on doing business together. One of the conditions is to kick me out of the running for CEO when he steps down, isn't it? Make it sound a little dramatic, but yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, your dad's company is one of my biggest clients. However, there are many more companies I could do business with if we were to lose the contract for whatever reason. I can't say the same for him though. The parts he orders from my factory are extremely difficult to get a hold of elsewhere in the market due to patent issues. Not to mention the skill level of our technicians. But basically, if I said I wasn't going to renew the contract, your dad's company would be facing some pretty severe management difficulties before long. Oh, you thought the fact that your wife's dad was just a subcontractor, gave you full license to do whatever you pleased to her, didn't you? Sadly for you, it backfired. And now, thanks to your arrogance, the very future of his company is in jeopardy. You shouldn't bring personal grievances into business. This is wrong. It's immoral. You call yourself a professional. Personal grievances? Oh, this is nothing of the sort. How is it not? Oh, sure, this might have started out with private affairs, but no matter how you look at it, kicking my daughter out of the house in her pajamas, barefoot and terrified in the middle of a typhoon, is totally insane, devoid of reason. How could I allow someone so utterly lacking in humanity, without even a shred of basic decency, and not to mention common sense, to become the CEO of my biggest client company? Looking at this from a purely business perspective, after what you did, it'd be impossible for me to do business with you and have peace of mind that things on your end would be well run. As a result, I had no choice but to voice my concerns with the current CEO. Here's what I said. Were your son to inherit the company, I would be forced to terminate our contract. Accordingly, in order to continue our business relationship, I require that you appoint an alternative CEO and give me full guarantee that he will never wield any power in the executive decision-making process. Wait, so in that case, if I can get Lily to forgive me, then we can carry on with the contract like nothing happened, right? Excuse me? Right, understood. Give me some time. I'll have this whole thing sorted out in a jiffy. Hey, Lily, you dumb bitch. Undo this stupid mess you made. Make your dad forgive me. Now. If you do, I'll give you back your position of the wife of the future CEO.
Are you a complete moron?
Huh?
Do you have no conception of how you lost your position as future CEO in the first place? Do you have no conception of why my dad is pissed off with you? Do you fail to understand why I want to divorce you and never see you again?
Divorce?
Yep, I knew it. You still don't understand, do you? Not even after everything that happened as a result of the way you treated me. You were so convinced you had power over my dad due to the situation with your dad's company that you thought you could say and do whatever you pleased to me without any fear of consequences. Sadly for you, you couldn't have been more wrong. I have some self-reflecting of my own to do too. Don't get me wrong, nowhere near as much as you do, but I still need to ask myself some serious questions about what happened.
Right. You're right. So you are thinking about the way you behaved then. I'm really pleased to hear that, babe. All right, we'll chalk this one down to being entirely your fault and move on then. Okay, I'm ready for you to come home and apologize to me so we can go back to normal and put all this stupid crap with me losing my CEO post behind us.
Wait, what? Did you think I was making some kind of apology to you? You're more deluded than I thought. What I meant was that I need to ask myself why I knew so little about my dad's factory. I am mad with myself for not taking more of an interest in him and his work. But you? I never did anything wrong, and I don't have anything to apologize for.
What the hell is this? I'll never become CEO if we don't come up with a peaceable resolution here. Don't you want to be the CEO's wife?
So your response to me telling you we're getting a divorce is to try and tempt me with the prospect of being your wife in this fantasy world where you still get to become CEO? Are you too much of a moron to see how little sense that makes? If I cared about being the CEO's wife, I wouldn't be divorcing you in the first place, you idiot!
What did you just call me?
Besides, even if you weren't physically and emotionally abusive, I still wouldn't have any interest in being with you on behalf of the fact that you have been cheating on me.
Huh?
Surely you didn't think I wouldn't notice. You always did suck at hiding things. You and your lover can both expect a letter from my lawyer explaining how much compensation you're gonna owe me. You better not try and escape.
Andrew, are you there? Oh my god. I mean, I guess I could answer the phone. But you see, Frankie boy, thing is, I'm likely to lose my temper as soon as I hear your miserable, wretched voice on the other end of it, drive over to your house, and beat you within an inch of your life. What? Well, something tells me it'd be in your interest never to message me again. What? But, I guess if you're absolutely desperate to tell me something, I could give you a call. You should know that everything I just said about being highly likely to come and beat the crap out of you still stands. So, what's it going to be? No, no, please, don't hurt me. What did you guys learn from today's story? To me, it was a reminder that more often than not, people who look down on those they perceive to be weaker than them are always the first to brown-nose their superiors like subservient little lapdogs. I figured I'd do Frank, who was a living example of exactly that variety of vile human being, a huge favour by seeing to it that he met a fate fitting for the way he treated my daughter. After my daughter got done divorcing him, and after he lost his job at his dad's company, I put in a word for him with my friend who runs a company called Demon Quarry Foundation. Strictly speaking, they mine rocks and rare metals, but in reality it has a reputation as being somewhat of a reform organisation for society's delinquents. It has a track record of setting even the most wayward and unruly on the straight and narrow through good old-fashioned, intense manual labour. As well as re-educating him, his employment with my buddy also serves the purpose of helping him earn the money he owes my daughter in compensation. You should have seen his face when he found out he'd be working at the Demon Quarry Foundation. Judging from how pale he went, he knew all about them. Mentally unprepared for the arduous journey that lay before him, he was loaded into a black van like a lamb being led to the slaughter. See ya, Frank.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey Mom, are you okay? Dad's funeral's about to start. Where are you?
Oh my, I didn't realize the time.
Please, get over here as soon as you can. We can't start without you. While Dad was sick, I took care of him the whole time, so at least help out now that he's gone. It's the least you can do, Mom.
All right, hold your horses. You're always so impatient. Sandy, pick up, would you? Where did you disappear to? I said I wanted to talk to you after the funeral. Why didn't you wait for me?
I just took Uncle Frank to the airport. They just boarded the flight back home. I just got back to the parking lot. I'll be back in about an hour.
An hour, huh? Why didn't you just wait until later in the evening?
They already have reserved their tickets. May take more than an hour if traffic piles up.
Well, that's way too long. I was going to tell you in person, but let's get it over with right here online.
Huh? What's this about?
I want you out of the house ASAP.
Excuse me? You're kicking me out of my own home? Dad passed away, for God's sake.
Yeah, okay. Take a few days to mourn then. But I want you out by the end of the month.
Seems a bit sudden. Can you explain why? I mean, the timing and all. Nobody to take care of Dad anymore, so you kick me out?
Yeah, well, you're certainly not the rightest bulb of the lot, so I suppose I have to explain it all to you in the simplest of terms. First off, I want you to reject all claims to your father's inheritance.
Dad's inheritance? Do we really have to talk about that now? Shouldn't we hold off on that for now? I mean, in respect to Dad, now's not the time, Mom.
We're family, so I don't think all that matters. Your father is gone, and we no longer need a nurse to take care of him.
So, you want me to give up all claims to Dad's inheritance and just leave, is that it?
That's right. You have no job, so you took it on yourself to look after your father as a nurse for the sole purpose of gaining an upper hand when it comes to splitting the inheritance. Well, sorry to break this to you, but that's not going to happen.
Wait. Are you saying I'm unemployed?
Yeah, you were constantly going on about how it was so hard taking care of your father that you had no time for work. I knew what you were scheming all this time. I bet you were hoping to just keep on living here rent-free. But no way that's going to happen. Just refuse any claim to the inheritance and get out of the house by the end of the month.
This is too much to contemplate right now. We can talk later after I get home.
Pardon me?
Mom, you're acting as if you've achieved some kind of decisive victory or something, but I get to stay at least till the end of the month, right? You do realize that it takes time to do all the paperwork for this inheritance stuff. We can't just talk about it over a line and be done with it. It's more complicated than that, and it takes time.
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Okay then, I'm on my way back right now. Hey Dave, thanks for coming to my father's funeral today.
Sandy, you must be tired from all the hard work today.
Sorry about this. Why is it that we only meet on such occasions? We really should date under different circumstances, lol.
Don't worry about it. I knew what I was getting into when I started going out with you. So, does this mean we're over the hard part and things will be normal going forward?
Yes, I suppose so.
What do you plan to do from now on? I know you don't want to go and live with your mom.
Yes, as I mentioned before, she's really not my mom. She's my stepmom. Dad married her like 10 or 12 years ago. I just call her mom out of courtesy.
So, does that mean you have to start looking for a place to live?
Yeah, that's why I contacted you. My stepmom, wants me out of the house by the end of the month.
You're not serious, really?
She also wants me to refuse all claim to my father's inheritance.
For real? What kind of person is she? Your father just passed away, for Pete's sake. You took care of your dad for almost 10 years. She didn't lift a finger to help, and she has the gall to make such demands.
Yeah, well, I really don't care about that. I was always planning to move out anyway. As a matter of fact, I was making preparations to move all these years. And about the inheritance, I never expected to receive anything.
Yeah, you told me, but to believe that yourself and to have someone say to your face, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
All good? You make it sound so simple.
That aside, I contacted you for a little advice. I know you work in real estate, so I figured you would be the best person to talk to.
You got my advice on real estate.
Yeah. We can talk more about it when we meet up. Do you have some time this week?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll keep my evenings open, so when you have time, give me a holler and we can meet up.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, Sandy, I know you're seeing this. It's the last day of the month. Are you all packed and ready to move out? You better be. It would be great if you could move out today.
Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, I was gonna leave later this afternoon.
I know you're well aware of the situation, but just so you are crystal clear about it, the entire inheritance, it all belongs to me. You do understand that, right?
We did all the paperwork together, remember? I wish you would quit reminding me about it every time we talk. Also, I don't plan on coming back to this house ever again.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's good to hear. I'm surprised you were able to move out on such short notice. Did you find a live-in job or something? Bet it's some sort of live-in maid or nursing job. I guess that's all you're good for.
The moving people are going to get here pretty soon, so I better get ready. Yeah, I'm going to take Dad's ashes. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, whatever. You're not going to ask me to help you move now, are you? Sorry, but I don't have the time. Your father left me a little play money, so I think I will go have a little fun downtown. LOL. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I have reverted to my maiden name, so I have zero connections to your family and relatives. We are total strangers now, just so you know, LOL. You are no longer my daughter, just a stranger.
Oh, okay. No problem.
If you have any financial problems in the future, I don't want you coming to me for help.
Yeah, I get it. Buzz, buzz.
Sandy, what's this about? They told me they are going to sell this house and they want me out of it ASAP? What the hell is going on? This is my house. Nobody can kick me out.
Hello, Mom. Helen. It's been a while.
Excuse me?
It is Helen, right? We're not related or anything. Seems weird calling you Mom. Do you have a problem moving out of that house?
Of course there's a problem. Why do I have to move out of my own house, for God's sake?
But you submitted those papers. You reverted to your maiden name, and you have nothing to do with our family anymore, right?
But I inherited all of your father's inheritance. Nobody can demand that I move out of this house. This house is mine.
That's strange. That can't be right. That house has been in my name for the past 8 years. I own the deed to that house.
Wait, what did you just say?
It was about the time that my father's health deteriorated and he would need care for years to come. My income at the time was pretty stable, so Dad had the deed to the house put in my name.
Pardon me?
I recall we talked about this with the lawyers present years ago.
Are you nuts? You're not employed.
I'm surprised you didn't know, actually. I am employed. Self-employed, that is. I'm a writer.
A writer? What are you talking about?
I don't want to brag or anything, but I have royalty payments, enough to live on. Making monthly payments is actually not a problem.
Royalty payments?
It was hard being a writer and also taking care of my dad, but by the time Dad needed regular care, my royalty payments were quite substantial, and so it wasn't such a burden. It wasn't easy, don't get me wrong, but I made it through those years.
Are you serious?
What I really wanted to talk about is the house. If you plan on living there, well, you're gonna have to start paying rent. If that's what you want, we need to drop some paperwork, lease agreement and all.
Pay rent? How much is rent?
I talked to a local real estate agent, and he told me the average rent for that area is about $2,000 a month.
Are you serious? $2,000? I can't pay that much. I checked his bank account, my inheritance, and there was only $20,000 in there. I was expecting 10 times as much. What a total letdown.
Oh, now I remember. When we were all talking with the lawyer, you were only half listening to his explanation. I recall the lawyer saying it was only about $20,000.
My mind was somewhere else at the time. I was set on buying this one collector's item I was eyeing for a long time. I couldn't believe that he only had $20,000 in his account. What's going on?
Well, you have to consider that I nursed him for 10 years. All that adds up, you know. My dad worked his way up to a district manager, but was forced to retire when he got sick. All his nursing care was paid for using his savings. That also paid for your living expenses. You were a housewife all those years, so no income.
Excuse me? No wonder there was only $20,000 left in his account. That can't be right. So, That's all that's left?
All I can say is, you better make that $20,000 last as long as possible, or find a job ASAP. I mean, you're still in your 40s. You could find a job quite easily at your age.
I used all that up already. That was gone as soon as I got hold of it.
Excuse me? You spent it already?
Yeah, I bought some nice bags and went on that trip last week. Plus, I went out on the town a few times. I had no idea that I only had $20,000. I used my credit card without thinking, and when I realized it, I was overdrawn. My card was rejected.
Oh, I see.
What the hell am I going to do from now on?
All I'm asking is that you move out of that house, that's all. I don't recall you ever acting like my mother.
Pardon me?
When I was in school, you never gave me any allowance. I made do with my part-time job at the library. As for meals, like dinner, it was me or my father that prepared it practically every night. And you know what? I don't recall one time you ever cooked for us. I did all the house chores too, like the laundry, and I even mowed the lawn in the summer. And what's more, you never bothered to take care of my dad all those years. After all, these years of doing nothing, can you still call yourself my mother? It was me that held this family together, if I can even call it a family.
Sandy, can we talk about this? I mean, after all.
The lease runs out at the end of the month, so I suggest you start packing, unless you want to rent the place.
Oh, I have an idea. Let me live with you until I work things out. We are family. It's the least you can do. What do you say?
I'm sorry, that's impossible.
Excuse me? Why?
Well, because I'm living with my boyfriend now.
A boyfriend? Are you serious? When did you get a boyfriend?
I better get going. I have a lot to do today.
Wait, Sandy, let's talk this through. I have nowhere to go. I don't even have a hometown or relatives to go back to. Sandy, are you still there? Are you serious? Did you already block me? Please, Sandy, help me out here.
My dad saw all this coming and urged me to use his savings as I saw fit. My stepmom continued to stay at the house, thinking she had the right. But once she learned from our lawyer that she was illegally trespassing on private property and she'd be charged with a crime, she got out of there pretty quickly. I heard she found a live-in job somewhere out of state. But all those years of living off my father and not working, things apparently didn't go so smoothly. On the first day of her job, she came in late and continued to do so numerous times afterwards. She certainly didn't make any friends. On the other hand, she couldn't understand why she was being shunned. I can't imagine the stress she's going through. But what makes it even worse is that she borrowed money from some disreputable sources, and I hear she's in really hot water.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.